If you've been following the news about the tech industry lately, you've probably noticed something kind of weird. The headlines seem to be telling two completely different stories at the exact same time. Okay, let's get into it. So, on one hand, you see this constant flood of news about massive layoffs. I mean, more than 250,000 people in tech lost their jobs just last year alone. But then, on the other hand, you hear this constant drumbeat about a huge ongoing shortage of skilled tech workers. So, what gives? Is the industry shrinking, or is it desperate for new people? How can both of these things possibly be true at the same time? Well, that's the paradox we're going to unpack in this explainer. Yeah, this crazy contradiction is what we're calling tech's talent paradox. And it's a situation that's not just confusing for people on the outside. It's actually reshaping how people build careers in one of the most important industries on the planet. Okay, let's break down the numbers to see what's really happening. So, yes, the layoffs are real. Companies are definitely adjusting after all that pandemic-era hiring. But on the flip side, tech jobs are actually set to grow twice as fast as the rest of the economy. Right now, there are 700,000 open cybersecurity jobs. Just think about that. So here's the secret, the key to the whole paradox. It's not really a talent shortage, it's a skills mismatch. Companies are letting go of people in roles tied to older tech, while they are absolutely desperate to hire people with skills in things like AI, cloud computing, and advanced cybersecurity. And this quote from Michelle Sims at UPro just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures the opportunity that's hiding inside this problem. The old ways of finding talent, relying on specific pedigrees like a 4-year computer science degree from a top school, they just aren't cutting it anymore. The industry needs a new way forward. And that new path, well, funny enough, it's actually a really old one that's been completely reimagined for the digital age. Apprenticeships. Yeah, that centuries-old model of learning on the job is suddenly becoming the most powerful solution to tech's very modern talent problem. And if you're thinking, oh, that's just some small niche thing, think again. Just look at this number. The number of active tech apprentices has shot up by over 2,600% since 2014. That's not just growth, that's an absolute explosion. It's a sign of a fundamental shift in how this industry is building its future workforce. And this isn't some one-time blip. You can see it right here on this chart. This data from the Urban Institute shows a steady, powerful, year-over-year climb. It's not a fluke. Companies are voting with their hiring budgets, and they're choosing this model. So, what exactly is a tech apprenticeship? Let's get super clear on this. This is not an internship where you're fetching coffee. It is a full-time, paid job. The magic is that you are earning a real salary from day one while your employer is investing in you, paying for formal classes, giving you a mentor, and training you on real projects. Okay, so let's really dig into this earn while you learn model. How does it actually work in the real world for both the person learning and the company doing the hiring? The whole journey is actually pretty clear and structured. It usually kicks off with some foundational training, maybe a boot camp or an online certificate program, just to give you those core skills. Then, boom, you're in a full-time paid job learning directly from a mentor on actual projects. And the final step, you get an industry-recognized credential and, almost always, you're converted into a permanent full-time employee. And we're not talking about fringe jobs either. Just look at this list of the most common roles. These are the core, high-demand tech jobs that companies are struggling to fill. Software developers, cybersecurity techs, programmers. This is a direct pipeline right into the heart of the tech economy.
Now this, right here, might be the most incredible part of the whole thing, the money. So who pays? For you, the apprentice, it's simple. You pay nothing for the training. Zero. In fact, you earn a full-time salary the whole time, and you graduate with absolutely no debt. For the employer, it's an investment. They pay your salary and the training costs because they get to build the exact perfect employee they need from the ground up.
And this isn't just theory. Just look at a real-world example like Apprentice. These guys partner with giants like Microsoft and JP Morgan Chase. They've placed over 1,500 apprentices and, check this out, a whopping 82% of them stay with their employer after the program. It's a huge success, with graduates starting at an average salary of $60,000 a year. It just works. But this whole movement is about way more than just filling job openings. It really represents a deep, fundamental change in the philosophy of education itself. It's a whole new way of thinking about how we learn and how we work. This quote gets right to the heart of it. For so long, tech education has been all about memorizing the features of the tool. But this new way of thinking argues that technology is supposed to serve us. The goal isn't to just learn about computers. The goal is to use computers to build the life you want. And here's what that looks like in practice. It's about teaching by doing, not by memorizing a menu. Nobody really cares about the insert picture button. What they care about is making a great-looking flyer that actually brings customers into their shop. Learning sticks when it's tied to a real result. And this is the big, bold challenge to the traditional system. The core belief here is that the old gatekeepers, like needing a 4-year degree, are way less important than the things that actually make people succeed in tech: curiosity, hands-on practice, and just getting a chance to get in the door. So ultimately, this isn't just about job training. It's a much bigger, more human way to look at education. The real goal is to empower you to build a life that actually works for you, giving you the skills and the freedom to adapt as your own goals change over time. Okay, so all of this sounds great in theory, but how does it become real for you? Let's make this super practical. How can you actually start on this pathway, like today? Here are the actual first steps. You can start with what are called on-ramps, like a coding bootcamp or a self-paced online course, to get the basics down. Earning a credential, something like the Google IT Support Certificate, can prove you know your stuff. Then you can look into intermediary organizations. Think of them as matchmakers, like UPro and Apprentice. Their whole job is to connect talented candidates like you with top companies that are hiring. It's a real step-by-step process. And if there's one core idea to take away from all of this, it's this. Every single lesson has to point toward possibility. Tech skills are income skills, plain and simple. And this whole model is about creating the most direct bridge possible between learning and earning a great living. And this isn't just a bunch of one-off programs popping up. It's becoming a real, structured national movement. Big organizations like the Urban Institute are actually building national frameworks to make it super easy for any company, anywhere, to launch their own apprenticeship program. The foundation for massive growth is being built as we speak. Which leaves us with one last, really big question to think about. As these powerful, debt-free earn and learn models keep growing like crazy and become a main way that a huge industry finds talent, what does that mean for the future and maybe the necessity of the traditional 4-year degree?